Hello nerds! Welcome to another off-season episode. We're just talking rumors today. We do have a little bit of housekeeping to get out of the way, and there is actually one piece of news to discuss as well. But first things first, let's talk housekeeping. So things were a little weird last week, and there was a death in the family, and so I do apologize that things were a little weird and we didn't get back into the swing of things like we were hoping to. But we are to a point now, hopefully, where that is possible. Either way, we are doing this rumors episode, and we're going to do what we can to do our best with it. That being said, we are still looking at probably end of January for regular episodes to resume. And even then, I think we're just going to scale back to one regular episode a week. And then the second episode, I'm still playing around with what that's going to look like. So stay tuned for all of that. And I think that's everything for housekeeping. Let's hit the shout-outs, because we do actually have some shout-outs in spite of how everything turned out last week. So shout-outs for this week are as follows. We're going to start with Instagram. We have casiusbelly on Instagram. Thank you, nerd, for the follow. And then we do have a couple of TikToks to get out of the way. Honestly, they're mostly randomly generated numbers, but we do have CBC, VIRTV72, T0KE, BW, JQDI, or DL. DI, sorry, I can read. Thank you, nerds, for the follow. Gage.gales, thank you for the follow. And naelaniovwxg. Thank you very much, nerds, for the follows. Even if you are bots, I'm not paying you, so it's not going to reflect negatively on me if you are a bot. Either way, I appreciate you, nerds, for the follows. That is the housekeeping. Our one piece of actual news that we had to cover, because it is fairly significant, is an unfortunate piece of news, actually. It has to do with the books section, and it is the passing of Anne Rice. Anne Rice was 80 years old. She was, for those that have been living under a rock forever, Anne Rice is the author of the Vampire Chronicles books, amongst other things, but most notably the Vampire books. Interview with the Vampire, Vampire Lestat, all of the things. Matt Murdock the Devil being one of my favorites in the series. Yeah, just pretty crazy. She had a stroke. The stroke is not exactly what took her. It was complications that happened after the stroke. So her son, Christopher, is going to be the one that takes over the estate and is the one in charge of all of the things that are happening in the world of the Anne Rice vampires. So it's just really, really bad news. Unfortunately, we're starting off on a bad foot twice, I guess, because my housekeeping update, my personal news, was not super great either. So let's take a moment, shall we, for Anne Rice. All right, so let's get into the rumors for this episode. And that we're starting with confirmations. We have two confirmations of things that we've discussed on the show. The first confirmation is Mega Man. That Mega Man rumor that was kicking around for a while. There's going to be a live-action streamed Mega Man. The rumor started out that it was going to be a live-action series. It has evolved, and it depends on where you're talking about for the confirmation as well, if it's going to be a movie or a series. But it is coming to Netflix. Their track record not being the greatest thing ever of late, that is kind of a mixed bag, because there is always potential that something could be fantastic, but with that Cowboy Bebop series that we got, it's looking a little grim. I mean, this is just confirmation. We do know it's happening. Still know 100% if it's going to be a movie or a series. I have different sources saying it's going to be different things. The bigger sources, the more reliable sources, say movie, though there is a couple that are still saying it might be a series. So that is confirmation number one. Confirmation number two is still kind of on shaky ground because the vocabulary used to confirm this rumor was not very solid. So that being said, the rumor is that Charlie Cox is going to be returning as Daredevil in the MCU. There's rumors surrounding this that he's going to be returning with that yellow outfit that we got in the comics forever ago, which would be interesting, but kind of irrelevant. Like, sure, why not? But the most iconic version of that would be red, so I don't necessarily think that the yellow outfit is the most likely, but we're not talking about that. We are talking about the confirmation straight from Kevin Feige's mouth to God's ears, said in a kind of roundabout, slightly vague way, that Daredevil will be played by Charlie Cox. The caveat is, if we see Daredevil in the MCU, then Feige wants Charlie Cox to be that man. So that is the kind of sort of shaky ground that we have to confirm Daredevil. It did, again, come from Kevin Feige, so no reason to think otherwise. But those are our confirmations. The actual rumors start with She-Hulk. We kind of have two rumors here. We have a new confirmation, or new rumor rather, that Matt Murdock is going to be showing up in this legal dramedy series. Being as we have confirmation that Charlie Cox is the pick for Kevin Feige to play the character, I feel like that kind of gives a little bit more credence to the fact that he's going to start showing up. That being said, we're giving this likelihood about 70% likely to be happening for real. In the other side of the She-Hulk rumor news, this rumor says that we're also going to be seeing not only She-Hulk and Abomination and the Hulk, which we already have confirmed 100%, and then Jamila Jamil's character still not confirmed what she's going to be, but we do know she is going to be the main villain. So Abomination is not going to be the main villain. Very interesting. But that's not news. We've already talked about that. The rumor here is that we are also going to be seeing the likes of the Wrecking Crew, the son of Hulk known as Skaar, as well as Red Hulk, all showing up in the first season, it sounds like. So not even like big plans for down the road. This is all big plans for season 1. They do go on to say that the Abomination is going to be the genesis of sorts to all of these secondary and tertiary Hulks. So Jamila Jamil's character is going to be exposed to She-Hulk's blood, and then somehow Skaar is going to get mixed in here, and then Wrecking Crew also is going to have connections to the Abomination, as well as Red Hulk. Red Hulk is supposedly going to be sort of created by Abomination, according to the rumor. So likelihood here, it does seem like this is going to be a huge series, a lot to be fitting into the first season, especially if we're only getting around 10 episodes. 10 to 12, I believe, is what the rough estimate was when we last checked in there. So we're going about 65% likely, just because it seems like a whole lot. It seems like a whole lot that makes a bit of sense, but it definitely seems like a bit more. I don't know where we're going to be falling short, but probably the importance of all of the extra Hulks in this area, though the rumor also goes on to say that they are looking to set up the Planet Hulk story arc, so that all makes sense if that is the end game. Next, we're going to be moving over to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, so Black Panther 2 is in the rumor mill. This time, it's pretty obvious rumor at this point. So the rumor is that they're going to be returning to production in February of 2022, what with Letitia Wright's travel ban and things, and weird COVID rumors going around, all kind of getting squashed and coming to an end. So she is set to return to set in Atlanta in February, and they will return to production at that point as well. Yeah, why not? There's no reason to not believe this. I mean, the fact that the rumor references the other rumors of her vaccine hesitancy and yada, 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 and nonsense and garbage that she herself has squashed at this point is a little weird, but we are giving this a 75% likelihood that it is actual fact. We're gonna pause right here and just do a real quick reminder. If you have not yet subscribed or followed on whichever platform you are currently digesting this content, please do so, so that I can continue to bring you all of the things that you love to hear. That being said, there is also, you can find me on all of the social medias as well. Go check it out, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you're not currently watching me, I'm probably on all of those as well. So go check that out. Now, all of that being said, let's go back to the rumors. Moving from there, we're going to a very interesting place, and that is Saturday Night Live. We have a rumor about Saturday Night Live. All right, so there is reportedly going to be a British version of SNL. This comes from a couple of fantastic sources. Honestly, Deadline was one of them. It has not been confirmed that it is going to happen, though it is kind of the talk of the town, if you will, amongst the comedic types over across the pond, being as I do my this work here in the States. Very interesting. I don't know if this is exactly what Saturday Night Live needs, and that is to be branching out other places, but also sure. This is not the first time this has been attempted either, should it come to fruition. So again, kind of a lot of things lining up for this. It only makes sense. We're looking at an 80% chance that this is going to be happening. I would be very honestly surprised if we don't see a British Saturday Night Live within the next 1.5 to 2 years. Our next rumor is a weird one. We're going over to the Sony camp of things now. Infamous is a video game. There's a series of video games. There are 3 of them that Sony developed and was on the Sony PlayStation platforms and is now reportedly getting a series or a movie. What was it? Live action series. Yeah, Sony is reportedly working on a live action series. What streamer it's going to end up on still remains to be seen, though the report says that they're going to be rebooting this franchise, rebooting this IP, I guess is more appropriate, as a live action series. Now, that's not the worst idea I've ever heard, though it is kind of a weird choice to be making because Infamous was never super successful. It didn't do terribly, but it was never super successful, and it's been a number of years since we saw any installments into the series. So I can't see why they would do this. We're giving this one about a 50% likelihood just because it just seems like a weird move. Not necessarily a bad one, just a strange one. So we're moving right along. Next, we have a fantastic rumor, if true, though not if true the way the rumor lines it up. So, the rumor in its bare form is that for the Peacock streaming service, NBC is going to be rebooting the Heroes series. This is going to be, and so that's the good news. If this happens, that's great. That part of it, sure, absolutely. I would love to see that because I really dug the Heroes series up until season 3 when it started to fall apart, but that's a whole other video. So, the rumor goes on to say that it is going to be a, nuts and bolts reboot. Everything is going to be redone. There is not going to be anyone returning from the original series. It is no production staff, no writing staff, no actors. Nobody will be returning for this reboot. It will just be a reboot in name only. The story is being completely redone as well. So likelihood for this one, they are trying to drive as much traffic to Peacock. This is a pretty solid source. There's a number of solid sources. So we're giving this one a 65%. That's almost against my best judgment, but because of all of those mitigating factors, there we are. Next, we're talking about one that has me super excited, but not super hopeful. Let me explain. So Silent Hill is rumored to be in the early stages of production for a new live action series. The rumor goes on to say, actually it was a different source for the same rumor, goes on to say that there is a bidding war happening right now with all of the usual players, Netflix, Amazon Prime, so on and so forth. All of them are in a bidding war for the rights to stream this series. series. This just sounds too good to be true in a lot of ways. Series, Silent Hill. Live action may or may not be too good to be true, but Silent Hill series, yes, absolutely. The fact that it could be going basically anywhere, that makes sense because Konami, as far as I know, doesn't have any ties to any one certain streamer. But we've heard these rumors forever. We've heard rumors for movies, for series, for all kinds of things pertaining to Silent Hill, and none of them have ever come to fruition. Except for that t-shirt that people were thinking was going to be a video game announcement, and then the inclusion of the Silent Hill IP into I can't even remember the name of the horror game, the multiplayer game that happened, and you could go up against the Pyramid Head. So, because exclusively of that, we're looking at a 40% likelihood. This is our lowest likelihood for the episode. All of these rumors today seem very, very probable. But 40% for the Silent Hill series coming to a streamer near you. Our final rumor for this episode has to do with Bioshock. This one is a gaming rumor, not any sort of TV or movies. We do have a rumor for the video game that Cloud Chamber, the production company that is in charge of the next installment, this is not news, this has already been discussed on the show. Cloud Chamber is going to be creating the game around a frozen backdrop in the tundra somewhere in a fictional city called Borealis. It sounds like they are returning to the Art Deco style of the first two games, a little less of the third game, which could be a good thing, but I mean, it sounds like they're playing the hits. It sounds like they're going to a remote location that is otherwise uninhabitable, and then the art direction is in a similar vein of the stuff that got them where they are today. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. Not the best source though, so we kind of got to factor that in a little bit. We're looking at a 50% likelihood that we will be seeing a Bioshock game take place in the frozen tundra in the fictional city called Borealis. So that, nerds, is our episode for today. Do not forget to be subscribing and doing the liking and the following and all the stuff. This is the off season, so if this is not exactly the quality of video you're looking for, then stay tuned, because when we kick back into regular videos, the quality is going to shoot up quite a bit. Episodes, I guess, is more appropriate because some of you are listening on audio. So, that being said, I appreciate your faces. Thank you very much, nerds. We will see you in the next one. But before I go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.